pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes.
Tamer, when you're ready, please call the roll.
Kolumski. Here. Jensen. Here. Toludo. Absent. Cahill.
Here.
Nudera.
Here.
Park. Here. Honquest.
Here.
Bastido. Absent. Mulliner.
Here.
Brennan.
Here.
Verimas. Absent. Deuter. Here. Dunn.
Here.
Hill.
Here.
11 present, 3 absent.
11 present, 3 absent. We have a quorum. Thank you. Item 2 on our agenda, 2.1, York Community High School Boys Swimming State Champ Connor Groya. A special presentation. If you'll meet me over at the podium, please. Well, this is a very special presentation. I've been on the council for 10, 12 years. We've had a lot of teams come up here, but I don't think we've had any individual champions. So this is something a little different. And I have a proclamation I'd like to read, and then we'll ask your coach to say a few words, and you may as well if you like. Whereas participation in and support of sports and athletic achievement is an important part of York Community High School's education in developing leadership skills and the creation of a tradition of excellence. And whereas York Community High School is home to the York Community High School boys swimming team led by Coach Mark Lorick, alongside assistant coaches Megan Jensen and Josh Dunn, and whereas Connor Groya became the first state champion in York Community High School boys swimming history, winning both the 50 and 100-yard freestyle titles at the 2022 state meet, and whereas Connor's determination and drive to be the best he can be while practicing countless hours and becoming a role model for future athletes in our community has been a great source of pride for the entire Elmhurst community. Now, therefore, I, Scott M. Levin, Mayor of the City of Elmhurst, with great pride, congratulate Connor Groya for winning the 50-yard freestyle and the 100-yard freestyle swimming titles at the 2022 IHSA State Swimming Meet, and do hereby proclaim today, April 18th, 2022, as Connor Groya Day. Congratulations. And Coach Lorick.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We'd just like to take a moment here to thank the council for inviting us here today, the community. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into winning a state championship. I was fortunate to be a small part of that. His teammates, the families, most importantly, his parents, because this young man put in a lot of hard work, a lot of hours. I guess the best compliment I could give you to give you an idea who Connor is he's the type of young man that you would wish your own son or daughter would grow up to be like. And that's beyond the swimming part. It's just who he is, the humility, the character, the class, the discipline. He's just a positive role model and just an outstanding young man. So I'm just very fortunate to have the opportunity to coach him. And he's an extremely deserving young man. And we recently found out he's not just a 2-time state champion, he's also a 2-time All-American. So thank you very much.
Wow.
And this is my mom, Katie Groya. I just wanted to say quick thank you to, just for having me here, honoring me. Thank you for everyone that's shown me a bunch of support all throughout the last couple weeks. We got that sign in front of York. I got a parade on the way home, but a couple people were out on the streets waving and honking, and just congratulations from so many people. So I really appreciate it and really want to say thank you, and just kind of reiterate what Coach Lorick said. This is not just a one-man job. Couldn't have done it without my mom, without my parents. My dad is not here, but couldn't have done it without him, my friends, the rest of my family who was all there cheering me on, and of course, couldn't have done it without the help from athletics and Coach Lorick right here. It was just a huge part of my success, and I've improved so much from when I came as a freshman, and without a doubt, there's no way I'd be here without him. So thank you very much.
Maybe he wants to keep his own. Over this way. I was just rooting him on.
Parents, good job.
Congratulations.
I'm Minnesota.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations and good luck.
Good comments. Well
Thank
done.
you. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Awesome job.
Thank you.
Triple congratulations.
Yeah,
so happy
for you.
Wow.
Yes, thank you.
Watch your step.
It protects you, yeah. Watch your
Thank
step.
you very much.
Oh, God is the career.
All right, we have 2 free tickets to a council meeting if you want to use them tonight. All right, that was the high point of the evening, I would say, but we move right on to receipt of written communications from the public. Clerk Hammer, do we have any written communications?
No, Mayor.
All right, is there anyone in the audience that has a written communication they would like to deliver? If so, raise your hand. All right, there being none, we will move on to public forum. Item 4, Clerk Tamer, has anyone signed up for public forum?
Yes, Mayor. We have Gina Lauber.
All right, if you take the microphone behind the podium there, one behind you, one back.
Oh,
All right, sorry, different podium. And if you state your name and address is optional, it just helps us get a hold of you. We need to follow up with you, but go ahead.
All right. Good evening, Council. My name is Gina Lauber, and I'm the homeowner of 376 South Cottage Hill and have been for the past 3 years. We were city mice that never expected to leave Chicago until we unexpectedly found our house in this town and fell in love. I'm here today to raise concerns about a property the city has approved for construction taking place at what is now 368 South Cottage Hill, previously 154 West St. Charles, about a year ago. I may extend a minute or two over my time, however, my neighbor Sandy has loaned me her time tonight as well. There's 3 things that I want to bring to your attention tonight: stormwater runoff concerns, violation of the required subdivision setback, and community safety concerns. After several months of watching rainwater collect in my neighbor's backyard, rendering it useless for the dog to relieve itself, and watching it creep into the yard next to ours, I sent a FOIA to the city of Elmhurst on April 4th requesting confirmation that this house adhered to the new home stormwater management policy. When I met with the city planner and assistant city planner on Friday, April 15th, they told me that they can only ensure that the house meets requirements, not enforce when remediation is installed. It's unacceptable that you allow our yards to flood while this house falls off its delivery timeline. When over 50-year-old vegetation and 200 trucks of dirt were removed from this property at the highest point of our block to accommodate an underground sport court, perhaps the city's new single-family home stormwater management policy should also require and enforce that drainage systems be implemented at the time the foundation is finalized so that it does not create months of flooding issues for surrounding homes. On April 6th, I sent a second FOIA requesting all city documents related to the referenced address on the St. Charles and Cottage Hill setback approval process. Eileen Franz stated that the city does not enforce private restrictions, building lines, or covenants that are recorded on subdivision plats. She said that you all enforce Elmhurst zoning ordinance requirements, and in this case, the R2 district does not require a variation. However, according to library.municicode.com, housing Elmhurst Municipal Code Ordinance, Section 23.05A2 states that subdivision ordinances should be enforced, if more restrictive, stating regulations which are more restrictive and impose higher standards or regulations shall govern, including any other applicable law, ordinance, rule, or regulation of any kind. A letter was sent to the homeowner by the city planner on February 9th in 2021, stating, I want to make sure you are aware of and acknowledging the existence of the 40-foot building setback lines of record and that you are securing a building permit and intend to construct a single-family home in violation of the recorded 40-foot setback line, to which the homeowner signed and confirmed. But why was a permit issued by the city given these known violations? When I spoke with Eileen, she said that the letter was sent as a courtesy to the new homeowner. But where was the courtesy provided to the 16 other homeowners in the subdivision who are currently impacted by this known violation? The majority of these homeowners have been paying Elmhurst taxes for over 20 years. And this lack of transparency to the rest of us illuminates that you either don't care to enforce these codes or you believe it's acceptable for us to enter legal battles with each other to enforce the codes. Had we been given the same written courtesy in February of 2021, or had we seen notice of a public hearing of this House, we could have voiced these concerns and reached a civil resolution before construction even began. And my biggest concern is that this is a very busy corner lot. To be honest with you, I'm most concerned with the St. Charles setback violation, where the homeowner's garage is only 10 feet from the sidewalk. This corner already poses a safety concern. Today, right now, there is a hubcap and a bumper on the side of the road from an accident just last week. I live and work within earshot of accidents all the time. I'm sure if you pull a history of accidents reports at the corner of St. Charles and Cottage Hill, you will find many. There is a stop sign, but the low visibility on the corner is already very dangerous. Even the shrubbery that remains and the construction fences up today makes it nearly impossible to see an eastbound biker on the sidewalk. I'm sure fence and landscaping are already on their way as well, but you should all be aware that their aspirations for a perfect aesthetic pose a real risk to public safety of the community that you're here to help serve. So tonight, I'm representing the voices of concerns across these issues of the homeowners at 164, 166, 170 West St. Charles, as well as 371, 372, 376, 380, 385, 402 South Cottage Hill, and 169 West Olive. And these are just the neighbors that I speak to regularly. I've not yet gone out to collect signatures, or I've not taken this to social media. However, given my career in social media, I feel confident I can influence others to take notice here as well, given this obstruction has a long-term impact on the precedent that this sets for the character of our community. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. And I do want to mention, we take public comment. We don't respond during the meeting, so don't feel that people haven't listened to what you've said, but thank you. Is there anyone else that has signed up?
Yes, Mayor. Claude Pagach.
Mr. Pagash?
Claude Pagach, 566 West Gladys. There was an article in the paper. We have betting in the state of Illinois. Well, we just got through March Madness with the basketball. And something like $274 million was bet on basketball. I don't know how far they reach out, but a portion of that took place by residents of Illinois, maybe even this town. The state cleared $9 million. That was their share. The book made close to $15 million. That's a lot of money, and we just began the year. They indicated that only $68 million was bet on the Super Bowl. State cleared a couple million. There was no mention of cities clearing anything. That doesn't include the fact that we now sell marijuana in the state of Illinois. No report on what that takes out of the public's pocket. The alderman and the mayor run a city. There's no doubt that people in this town bet, maybe even use marijuana. But that money that's laid out comes from the residents you govern. You also have property taxes you like to collect, water bills you like to collect. But if this trend continues through the year, there are a lot of people that won't pay those bills. The governor was kind during the coronavirus to change a requirement that if you wanted to bet at a joint, you had to go there and sign paperwork. You don't have to do that. Gambling has programs on TV, bet. The idea you're going to beat the house is a ridiculous idea. I tried it myself. It didn't pay off. So the cities better start, and the counties better start looking at just the kind of money that's leaving. 14.9 million is what the book collected, so-called for themselves. It's a lot of money. Baseball season. A lot of people like to lay off a little on the ball games.
Mr.
Keeps on
Pargas,
eating
you're,
away at the salaries.
Mr. Pargas, you're at 3.5 minutes. If you would please wrap up your comments.
Okay?
Thank you.
So give it some consideration, because if you don't, you may not collect a nickel from the public.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else signed up for public
Deanne
comment?
Masaki.
Deanne Mazzocchi, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council. I come before you in connection with Agenda Item 5.25, MCO 05-2022, an ordinance amending Section 24.05 entitled Additions, Insertions, Deletions, Changes in connection with the building code. There are several issues that various builders have raised in connection with some of the proposed changes. The one that I would like to focus on, because I think it's going to need to be either instructions going to need to be given to city staff, or there's going to have to be some interpretation, because otherwise it's going to make compliance a practical impossibility. So item 6, as it's currently drafted, says prior to the issuance of a demolition permit, a residential notice must be provided that contains the following information. And some of the things that's included now is part of these changes. Number 1 is the week in which demolition will occur. Well, it's very difficult to submit a building permit to the city of a demolition permit to the city of Elmhurst, identifying the week in which demolition will occur before a demolition permit has actually issued. So either the preamble needs to not control, or one way that the city of Elmhurst could potentially deal with it is to simply instruct staff that the day on which someone comes in with a demolition permit, they have to give the person who's submitting the permit a date certain when the demolition permit is going to issue. Otherwise, the demolition permit will never be complete, because you can't actually identify when the demolition is going to occur until you've got the building permit. Until you have the demolition permit. I can't apply for my demolition permit, however, is not complete until that notice is given. So it's a vicious cycle, and you can't comply with both of those terms in item 6 and new subsection 10 as it's currently drafted. Relatedly, there's some additional requirements. Again, part of what you're adding in new is that a signed affidavit has to be submitted stating all of the above was completed prior to the issuance of a demolition permit. So again, you can't give notice of when demolition is, you can't give notice of the day on which demolition is going to occur if I have to submit this affidavit prior to the issuance of the demolition permit. And likewise, there's an additional requirement that the sign be posted at the subject property no less than 7 days prior to demolition, identifying the week of demolition. You can't identify the week of demolition without having an actual demolition permit issued, because you can't demo until the actual permit issues. But again, you're requiring that that has to be submitted to the city before the permit issues. So again, it's just an impossibility in terms of compliance. So I think that, one of the ways in which this could be dealt with in the interim, if the city of Elmhurst, at the time a demolition permit is applied for, you simply have to give us a date that we can identify to the neighbors, but or alternatively, give a firm date as to when when the demolition permit is actually going to issue. Because without that, you can't do the follow-on step of actually giving the neighbors the appropriate notice that you're requiring under the code. So there's several issues, relating to this, relating to dumpsters and other new things that have been added. I think that it's my personal opinion that it would probably be more prudent to, since this did not go back to committee after last week, pull it back to committee. But if not, then certainly that some clarifying instructions be issued so that we know exactly what the builders have to do in order to be in compliance with this section. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mazzarchi. Clerk Tamer? All right. Is there anyone in the room today who did not have an opportunity to sign up for public comment that would like to do so? There being none, thank you. We will move on to the consent agenda, which is rather lengthy. So, Clerk Tamer, if you'll take a deep breath and read the consent agenda, please.
Do you want to do a motion first?
Either way.
I can read it.
But why don't you read it first? And let's.
That's fine. Okay, 5.1, minutes of the executive session of the Elmhurst City Council on February 26, 2022. 5.2, minutes of the executive session of the Elmhurst City Council on April 4th, 2022. 5.3, minutes of the regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council on March 21st, 2022. 5.4, minutes of the regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council on April 4th, 2022. 5.5, accounts payable April 18th, 2022, totaling $2,140,310.47. 5.6, appointment to the Commission on Youth, Kevin O'Reilly. 5.7, case number 22P05, McKenna Subdivision, 165 and 169 South Clinton Avenue and 360 East Schiller Street. 5.8, report, case number 22, ZBA 03, rear yard setback variation, 782 South Prospect Avenue. 5.9, report, federal construction satisfaction and release agreement. 5.10, report, Elmhurst Walk-in Assistance Network Q for a Cause fundraiser. 5.11, report, neighborhood traffic study pilot program. 5.12, Route 83 ALPR equipment purchase. 5.13, report 2022 water main improvement project, resident engineering services. 5.14, report Brush Hill roadway improvements, construction engineering services. 5.15, report DuPage County gasoline and diesel procurement joint purchase. 5.16, report Elmhurst History Museum construction management for pre-construction services. 5.17, report First Street Bridge rehabilitation project construction bids. 5.18, report painting of the Public Works building. 5.19, report Van Buren Street and Crescent Avenue reconstruction improvements, construction engineering services. 5.20, report traffic signal controller replacement. 5.21, report Southwest Elmhurst mitigation project phase 3 construction bids. See item 6.1. 5.22, report Elmhurst City Center traffic review. 5.23, an ordinance to amend section 36.11 entitled Limitation on Number of Licenses of Article 2 entitled Retail Licenses of Chapter 36 entitled Liquor of the Municipal Code of Ordinances of the City of Elmhurst, Illinois. 5.24, an ordinance amending section 36.09 entitled Classification of Licenses of Article 2 entitled Retail Licenses of Chapter 36 entitled Liquor of the Municipal Code of Ordinances of the City of Elmhurst, Illinois. 5.25, an ordinance amending section 24.05 entitled Additions, Insertions, Deletions, and Changes to Adopted Codes of Article 1 entitled General Provisions of Chapter 24 entitled Building Code of the Elmhurst Municipal Code. 5.26, an ordinance reserving and authorizing the transfer of volume cap in connection with private activity bond issues and related matters. 5.27, an ordinance to approve and authorize the execution of an easement agreement by and between the City of Elmhurst and DPIF 3 IL 8 Riverside Drive. 5.28, a resolution authorizing the issuance of a notice of award and authorizing the execution of a contract for the building automation repairs and maintenance for City Hall and Police Department buildings, Project 22-16. 5.29, the Elmhurst Resolution approving the 2022 community grant recommendations and awarding the community grants. 5.30, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of a settlement agreement. And 5.31, a resolution to adopt the City of Elmhurst 2022 temporary outdoor dining policy.
All right, thank you, Clerk. Is there any item on the consent agenda that any alderman would like to remove from the consent agenda, either for further discussion or to vote against? Alderman Honquist.
5.30. Thanks, Mayor.
5-30, thank you. Any other items? All right. Then I will ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda minus item 5.30. A motion, please. Alderman Honquist, second. Alderman Deuter. Clerk Tamer.
Palumski.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Toledo absent. Cahill.
Aye.
Nudera.
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Honquist.
Aye.
Bastido absent. Mulliner.
Aye.
Brennan.
Aye.
Remus absent. Deuter.
Aye.
Dunn.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
11 ayes, 0 nays, 3 absent.
11 ayes, 0 nays, 3 absent. The consent agenda minus item 5.30 has passed. Item 5.30, may I have a motion to bring this before council? Alderman Honquist, second. Alderman Deuter. Before I pass it out to you, Alderman Honquist, I do want to put into the record that this is the settlement agreement. The amount is $48,803, which I'm not sure that was in the packet or posted. And with that, Alderman Honquist.
I'm simply voting no.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, thanks.
Very good. Any other discussion on this item? All right. Clerk Tamer, if you'll call the roll.
Palumski.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Toledo absent. Cahill.
Aye.
Nudera.
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Honquist.
No.
Bastido absent. Mulliner.
Aye.
Brennan.
Aye.
Veremus absent. Deuter.
Aye.
Dunn.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
10 ayes, 1 nay, 3 absent.
10 ayes, 1 nay, 3 absent. Item 5.30 passes. On to item 6, resolutions. 6.1, Clerk Tamer, please read the resolution.
A resolution authorizing the issuance of a notice of award and the execution of a contract by and between Earthworks Land Improvements and Development Corporation and the City of Elmhurst for the Southwest Elmhurst Stormwater Mitigation Project, Phase 3, see item 5.21.
All right. May I have a motion to bring this before the council? Alderman Brennan, second. Alderman Honquist. Alderman Brennan.
Thank you, Mayor. This resolution 6.1 is tied to a report we approved under the consent agenda tonight, 5.21. 5.21 outlines the down selection for a contractor to complete a stormwater project at Jackson School. In the interest of starting this project immediately after school ends, the report recommended we suspend the rules tonight to approve this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Brennan. Any further discussion on Resolution 6.1? All right. Clerk Tamer.
Palumski.
Aye.
Jensen.
Aye.
Toledo absent. Cahill.
Aye.
Nudera.
Aye.
Park.
Aye.
Honquist.
Aye.
Bastido absent. Mulliner.
Aye.
Brennan.
Aye.
Veremus absent. Deuter.
Aye.
Dunn.
Aye.
Hill.
Aye.
11 ayes, 0 nays, 3 absent.
11 ayes, 0 nays, 3 absent. Resolution 6.1 is adopted. Item 7, reports and recommendations of elected and appointed officials. 7.1, Mayor 11. Four things. First, the Elmhurst Police Department is partnering with the Drug Enforcement Administration for the Prescription Drug Take-Back Day on Saturday, April 30th. Officers will be on hand and in the parking lot of the police station to collect expired, unused, or unwanted prescription drugs for safe destruction Saturday between 10 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Also, Art in Wilder Park will be held on Friday, April 30th. Or I hope that's a Friday. No, it's Saturday, April 30th, and Sunday, May 1st from 10 to 5. Looking a little further down the road, let's see, we've got the Exemplary Youth Awards, Thursday, April 28th, 7 p.m. at Sandburg Middle School. All are welcome to attend. And lastly, looking a little further down the road, Spring Road Pet Parade will be Saturday, May 14th at 11:30. Plenty to do. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. One reminder, a final reminder from this seat that city stickers are need to be purchased by the end of the month and affixed to vehicles that are owned and stored in the city. So we hope everybody does that. Makes enforcement a lot easier. And the second item I have is to let everybody know that this Saturday, April 23rd, the Lions Club, Elmhurst Lions Club, will host a pizza party, but it's a virtual pizza party. So if you go to elmhurstlions.com, you can get the details where if you buy pizza from participating pizza vendors, credit goes towards the Elmhurst Lions Club and all of the good things that they do.
So it's not a virtual pizza.
It is not a virtual pizza.
Very
You
good.
can eat the pizza.
All right.
You just don't have to show up to buy it.
All right. Any other reports from other elected officials?
Can I just add something?
Certainly.
The month of April is the Youth Commission's doing Kindness Month. And if you go to the city website, there is something to print out. It's been around social media, and I know the city of Elmhurst has also put out something, but there's something kids could do each day. And when that is completed, you can turn it into, the email is on there for Ann Zimmer, and we are giving away some raffles to City Center gift card. So hopefully it'll get the kids a little bit involved in doing some service and kindness stuff to the community.
Thank you, Clerk Tamer. All right, any other reports? There being none. Other business? Any other business to be brought before the council? All right, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Alderman Brennan, second by Alderman Cahill. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? None? We're adjourned. Thank you.